do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Yeah, it's picking up the microphone. Oh, I just noticed that while I was not online, Craig followed. Cross74IG. So hey, welcome. It's about time you subscribe to the better of the extremely late night channels. Sorry, not sorry, Lord Havoc. Oh, all right. How am I looking here? We are going to be doing the fourth playtest of Bryce Wayne. So at the end of last night's stream, I said I was going to look into making some tweaks to her deck around her hero deck, her aspects, and all that stuff, and I have. Unfortunately, there is not a lot of support on either ES's table or in core FFG to take advantage of her being able to buff like the X on cards. So there wasn't much I could do about that. So what I did do was I just built a more dedicated justice deck for her. I removed Float Like a Butterfly and dropping in and one single copy of Running Interference. I've said like 5 times now. I need to stop doing that. So I did that. I know this will weaken her a little bit with the confused stuff, but she has been struggling in finding any sort of niche role, I feel like. It's probably some to do with how I play. I don't think Batwoman is exactly in my wheelhouse of characters, but I'm trying to make it work to the best I can. I said home again, but that's how I'm going to handle it, right? I'm not getting as much out of some of her cards as I feel like I should be, so I'm gonna, as much as I hate to kind of do this, I'm gonna work around my shortcomings for a deck like this and play a little bit more into my strengths. I feel like that would be the best way to handle this. If this was like an FFG character, like an actual released FFG character, and I'm playtesting it, and I was having trouble with the way I've been having trouble playing Bryce Wayne slash Batwoman, I would either stop playing the character and just salvage their aspect cards into other decks, or I would try and build an aspect deck around it that would actually make it work for me. And that is how I'm handling Batwoman right now. Is I am making an aspect deck around it that works a little bit better towards my playstyle. I'm going to play her alongside America Chavez, who's one of those characters I'm still trying to work out some kinks on to get into. I have her in alpha release. She should probably be in beta at this point, but I want to get her released. I feel like she could probably be released pretty soon. I'm going to go up against Crossbones again. I know, wow, Crossbones 2 nights in a row. You play him a lot. Again, it's a comfort thing. I've played against him a lot. I know his deck pretty damn well. But the other thing is that I've play tested Batwoman. This will be the 4th time. This will be the 3rd time against Crossbones. She's yet to beat Crossbones, and I consider Crossbones to be one of those characters that I just play because he's a good, like, play testing character to do. And she has lost each of her games so far. So let's see if I can finally fix that. So we're going to go ahead and draw hands. That is not the greatest opening hand. So she's now running a 44 card deck up from 40. I didn't remove a ton. Like I said, I just removed those 3, but I put in like infiltration. You can see I put in infiltration. I put in some, what's the card called? Heroic conditioning. I put that in. I put in clear the area to help with some of her not so great early game hands. Is there anything else? I put in like 3 copies of infiltration. I put in 3 copies of clear the area. And then I put in actually I think I just added those 3 different cards. 7 cards are move 3, so yeah, that's 44 cards. Running interference is gonna be useless early game. Victoria Refined is going to be useless without the tridents. Probably don't need Passion for Justice early game. Let's draw her 3 new cards. Okay, good. Even better. Actually, that's I said even better. This is a bit of a waste. A bit of an unnecessary waste. What do we got over here? We got Alloy, that's good. I have none of her upgrades. I have... yeah. This is going to be useless until I get her upgrades. Martial Prowess is good. Martial Prowess! Should I get rid of Alloy early game? I think I can get rid of Alloy early game. This didn't resolve anything. I should have just discarded her whole goddamn hand. Flip this. Already got him set up and make sure this is shuffled. Alright, let's get into this. Alright. What do we got here? Let's actually get something for her counter. Let's get something to track max hit points. Because America Chavez is going to break the record. I can feel it. Because she can play all the stat modifiers. She can put defensive conditioning, heroic conditioning, and aggressive conditioning all in her deck. That's 9 hit points additional. And endurance would put 12 additional hit points. She can run up to 26 hit points. I don't think any of her, if I remember correctly, none of her cards give her additional hit points, though. That might be a bit too much. All right, what do we got here? Place one edge counter. That is an action period. So let me then. I got 2 more copies of this. And those 2 would be overpaying the hell. Let's do this. Draw a new card, get a counter. That is actually excellent. Get Ingenuity. It's a good thing I didn't flip. I can't play anything else in this freaking hand. I'm going to exhaust and deal 1 damage. I was about to say I needed a fist icon. All right, what do we got over here? America. I have 1 of every resource, but I feel like I'd be wasting a little bit of it. Let's pay 2 to get Martial Prowess. I still have 1 of everything if I want to do it. So let me discard a copy of this. There it is. Alt-right click to get the bottom. Let's do it. Let's get rid of all 3 of these. You slut. Not America Chavez. Deadwater. Stealing my cards. Alright. Means I have nothing else I can possibly do with her. I might keep her... Well, if I keep her face down, he's going to place 2, and then he'd have to get a perfect 3 to go on to the next phase. Yeah, I'll keep her face down. Because she only gets a 4-card hand size in hero form. She's going to need some help building up her cards here. It's ready. Let's draw the fucking 2. I hate small hand sizes so much. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's actually a pretty good hand. Speaking of which, I'm actually gonna put counter on her. So she's 1, 2, 2, and then 5 on the other side, right? Yeah. Fortunately, it gets rid of the break that I had over attack, but that is fine. She's an alter ego form. I need to do that because she has 5 stat boosts in her deck. All right. 1, 2. I should probably give the first player over here since that's who it goes to attack. She's going to take it. She's a champion. For 2 damage, which she needs because she needs to build up counters in first phase when she takes damage. Schemes for just the 1. Fantastic. Game. Thank you. Gets his knife. And Crossbones Assault 4. America. Fuck yeah. All right. don't think I need... Well, actually, that's a superpower. Star Portal is not going to work right now because I don't have allies in any discard pile. So let's spend... I'm not going to get anything out of Energy Infusion. I can use this early game. Get combat training. Let's spend Star Portal early game. It's both my Star Portals gone, unfortunately, but that should be fine. Use this. Let's actually flip. I will... What's this? Mental and Fisty. I got 2 Fisties. I'll hit for 3. I will then use this to Limitless Stamina, which will ready myself and activate the physical, which will deal 2 damage to an enemy. I will then attack for 3. Should I actually play? He's not going to put status cards on me, so I don't really need to worry about Unshakable this game. It's going to end... Let's actually put this over here. That's going to end her turn. All right, Justice, what do we got here? This and these 2 to get this. So she's running 3 thwart now. That's good. That's good. That's good. Still have Bat Signal. I'm going to... Do I have those resources? I have an energy and a wild, so no. 1, 2, 3 off of main. It's going to get all 3 of those back, but it's not going next phase at least. Clear the area. There we go. It's starting to look good here. I don't care what some people say. I love clear the area. Hey, I can actually power stomp because I have 3 attack. 1, 2, 3 attacks America. Fuck yeah. And America, fuck yeah, might just take this because she's got health. Hey, Kaj, how's it going, bud? Yeah, America's gonna take this because she's got 14 health. Screw that. 2. Okay, that was rough. That was mean. Kaj, you need to message me. Let me know when you're down for the next chapter of Thunderbolts. I was in your stream a little bit. Was it yesterday? I think it was, or whatever. Day and night means nothing to me anymore. I saw that you were 3-handing some Kaz nominated cards or decks. This was what, the Warriors 3, Guardian, and Guardsmen, I think, right? If I remember correctly. That was the attack on her. Attacks Batwoman. She's going to take it because she needs to take damage. Jesus Christ, he's maxing out damage. Get one of these at least. This and this. God, has machine gun early game. He is in a mood right now. And attacks again. So this will be the machine gun first. For 1 damage. And it's not... Is that damage from the attack? No, this is separate from the attack. I'm going to actually have to defend this. Maybe the game will be nice and he'll just hit me for 1. He hits me for 0. Damn it. I wanted 1. I wanted 1 damage because that would get me another counter. But I had to defend her. I had to defend her honor. Alright, so let's... If I Passion for Justice, it'll remove 3 from main and draw me a card. It's not a bad deal. Damn it, I could have Bat Signaled that Treachery too. I'm losing it. I'm only going to keep Bat Signal in my hand for the entire game by the looks of it. Seize Passion for Justice, unclear the area. That'll remove 3 from main. That will draw me a card. Stun enemy. I'd only get 1 on this. So this would be 1 cost for a stun. I mean, I could. And that would allow her to stay up 1 more turn. This is a rough start. This is absolutely brutal. I will Ingenuity onto Tidal Conduit to stun him as well. I might flip just so I can get cards for the Watchtower. Hey, I'm going to flip her. Let's get some cards for Watchtower. Over here to America. Fuck yeah. So I can Power Stomp. I have the resources for it. I can Clobber. I have the resources for that. And Clobber would come right back to my hand. So 1, 2. To Clobber for 3 to return it to my hand. That was a superpower. No, it was not a superpower. It was a regular attack. Power Stomp would be a superpower. That would do 5 damage off of 2 resources. Do I do this though? Yeah, 1, 2. Actually, I should probably just spend on what's my hand? All fist. I am all fist, baby. Let's spend one of these instead to hit for 3 damage because it hits the villain and each enemy engaged with me. 1, 2, 3. It is a superpower, so it's going to hit for 2 because it is a fist resource. I will then attack for 3. And that will end her turn. She draws 3. America's anger. And another Clobber. Still not drawing any of her upgrades. That sucks. So I've gone through 20 cards of her deck and haven't seen any of her core upgrades for making her deck work. She has an upgrade that can turn regular attacks into superpowers, so that she can run off of this. She has a card that generates a wild resource, and then when it's used to pay for an event, when it's used to pay for a superpower, it turns the printed resource on that superpower to wild, so that she can get all the abilities. And she has another one that every time she plays a superpower, she builds up counters, and then she could cancel treacheries when she gets enough counters. So attacks or schemes against Bryce for 2. Attacks. This is the machine gun for 1 damage. Oh no, he's stunned. Hold on. And counter and encounter. Flip to hero form. I change form, exhaust my energy, discard this. Remove 2 adaptation counters. To remove this from the game, I might just discard this because I want to get her through her phases. Let your flame soldier over here. Alright. Oh, aggressive conditioning. Oh, where's my hand? Where is my hand? I have to get rid of all these to get aggressive conditioning out, which I'm going to do. I'm going to spend all 3 of these to aggressive condition, which will bump me up by 3. And now I have 4 attack. I will defeat this little nerd, and that is unfortunately going to have to be the end of her turn. If I'd have been able to keep Power Stomp in my hand, then I could have Power Stomp for 4 and knocked out that dude and done this. Alright, Batwoman. So this is her thwart. That's good, but she can only do... So I'm going to exhaust to discard this. At least I have a 5-card hand in this form. That's weird. We'll Aquakinesis to remove 2 threat. I like Bat Signal, but I think I'm going to use it to Aquakinesis again. I'm trying to keep this around because in stage 2 for her, she gets her counters by defeating schemes and minions. So if I keep her ready for that, or keep that out for that, then she can defeat that easily, well, kind of easily, and then help build up counters. I'm going to flip her down again. For the love of God, stay down. And that will end her turn. I just hate this picture so much. It's honestly a bit nauseating. Then she gets 4 cards. She's still dodging her cards. All right, 1, 2, 3. It does look like I'm going to scheme out finally. Attacks Miss America. I will spend, this is an action, right? Yeah, I can't use martial prowess either. So I'm going to use, actually, let's see how much it is. 2 damage. Oh, this is the machine gun first for 1 damage. And it's not whiffing tonight. Usually I get like 1 or 2 whiffs per machine gun, but I'm getting no whiffs tonight. All right, now the attack. Now let's see what it is. 2, 3 damage. Do I take this or do I bulletproof Chica and get tough? I think I'm going to bulletproof Chica and get, I mean, no, let's just take it. Take the 3 damage, that way I can play a card. And then schemes, well, we scheme to the next phase. We will, and this reveals. So 2, this goes up to now 12, down to 2. The next phase, which will get a 3rd weapon on him. The random discard one, so the other one I hate a lot. It's this one and the one that we have to spend 1 of everything that I absolutely can't stand. Encounter. All right. We discard 2, so it gets 0, and it gets just the boost icons, right? Yeah, so it just gets 3. Raid the armory and sight 1, and we discard until we get a 4th weapon. Actually, not sure there are any more weapons in here, because doesn't he only come with his combat knife as the only weapon in his base deck? The rest come from the weapons. Hydra sidearm. I didn't even look at what that card was that just flipped. Hydra sidearm. So Hydra sidearm and the... Oh, this is part of the Weapon Master mod. This isn't even his deck. Ah. All right. First player over here. We're going to heal for 3. I'm going to... I wanted to play this, but Depth Focus might be the most viable card I've got right now. Let's... And Brutal Modification. Let's pay this one to get this. Let's spend this to place an augmentation and draw a card. Let's... Well, I got the queen. Question is, do I play it? I'm going to BOW Engineering to put Deadwater in. He is a 1/1/1/1/1/1/1/1/1. He will thwart for 1, which will defeat him. So this card is now useless. It only pulls him from set aside. All right, that's not... If playing for a long time, you could potentially get an army of dead waters by the end of it. How? So it's putting a copy of him into play. Okay, so there should probably be multiple copies of him then. So, okay, the BOW will keep bringing him out. Okay, I thought I saw something like that. It's just worded a bit weirdly. So he died, got me a counter. I placed it, right? Yeah, I only had 2, I think. If I didn't know, well, that's on me. Let's do it. Let's Queen of See it. As long as I have anything else to do with that, I'm going to go ahead and flip. My man over here has an infinite hand. So what do we got? Mental Fist, Jesus Christ, just Mental Fist, huh? You know what I don't have? Fist. I have Mental. I'll spend these two, use her as a fist to get rid of the discard. Yeah, I know he's going to be attacking me for 3, but it is what it is. I'm going to take 4 damage, remove this from the game. It's a rough thing to have on me. I'm going to flip, heal for 5. I'm going to discard Moment of Triumph to get the bottom card of my deck. Another Bulletproof Chica. Guess who's protected when I flip up? That will end her turn, though. Uneventful, but I got rid of one of the 88 weapons that are in his play area. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. So at least this generates 2 resources, which doesn't matter because everything in my hand is 1. This. Draw her up to her hand size, please. Hey, finally got one of them. So this is important. All right. 1, 2, 3. Attacks Batwoman for a base of 3. Wait, this is the machine gun first. Reveal this. God damn. So, oh no, this isn't actually a boost effect, so it does do 1 damage. So we actually skip that for now. Now it attacks. Now I get this. Now we get this. For a base of 3, she's going to defend. She's going to still take. She's going to take 2 damage. That's actually not bad. She's now at 5, which means she's flipping down next turn. Whether she likes it or not, she has infiltration at least. And then schemes for 4. Why is it every time I don't need him to do that, he gets the big bonuses? Encounter. Watch him scheme. Hero. Take 1 indirect for each star that pops up. So there is, his attack is 3, so 1, 2, straight up 3 damage. And that's not an attack, that's just damage. This bitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because there's 2 Hydra. I love playing against Crossbones. I hate Madam Hydra with a passion. I absolutely can't stand Madam Hydra. All right, over here to America Chavez. So let's spend the 2 to immediately get Starlight into play. I'm gonna heal for 5. I'm going to burn Moment of Triumph. The bottom card. Gwen! Flip. So we need Fist and Mental still to get rid of these. So let's Fist and Mental to get rid of, neither of them fucking matter. They're the same thing. One gives piercing, one gives ranged. I don't think it, well, she's going to retaliate. Yeah, let's get rid of the range. She doesn't retaliate until her 3rd stage, though, so it kind of doesn't matter. All right, let's Starlight. And Martial Prowess to break through. Because I use this to pay for it, it turns it into a wild resource. So first, 4 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remove 3 threat from a scheme. Then, if it defeats enemy or scheme, which it defeated a scheme, stun or confuse an enemy. So we're going to stun Madam Hydra so that this does not get worse, because I'd like to get rid of that. And then I proc everything on here because it's a wild. So I deal 2 damage to an enemy. I draw 1 card. Another breakthrough. I could play that as well. Unfortunately, I can't get it on my ability. I've been thinking about removing the limit once per round because she honestly doesn't play that many superpower cards. If I do that, though, I have to tweak the abilities on here, though, because giving her this many readies would be a bit ridiculous. Speaking of which, she readies. I could break through again, or I could save it and get a bonus Let me. Should I push him? If I push him in the second, actually, if I push him in the second stage now, he won't get the machine gun. So I'm actually, yeah, I'm going to push him in the second stage. He gets 28 hit points, I believe it is, or 14. He gets the machine gun, but he's got it, so sucker. He just gets a little bit more attack, but that is completely manageable. That will end her turn. It is tempting to break through to hit for 4 and then remove 3 from Legion of Hydra. But I'm not going to. Oh yeah, does this have anything on it? Just the one revealed. Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to my hand. To Batwoman. She's exhausted because she defended. She has to flip this round. She can infiltration, which she's going to have to. Let's ingenuity to infiltration. I'm going to do the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It cancels when revealed and removes 5 threat from a scheme. So let's remove all 5 threat from the. I want to do it from Legions of Hydra. I really do. But I do want to keep the main scheme under control here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do have a mental and a fist. Actually, I technically have both on this because this counts as 2. I could get rid of combat knife. I could get rid of combat knife. That's a good point, me. Let's get rid of. No, I kind of need this for her X cost cards. I'll spend this to get endurance. And then I'm going to be flipping down, spending 5 to state 2, which gives me stun, confused, but I am steady on this side. And I ready. I'm going to heal for 4. And that will end her turn. So I need to actually, ready and draw hands. It's usually a good idea. So 5 cards total. Hey, all her goddamn trident is ready. It only took half a deck. I didn't put that many cards in here. All right, I'm going to keep what she has in her hand, and I'm going to draw these. All right, she's got her second upgrade. One, two, three. We start over here. Attacks, last machine gun usage for 1 damage. Goodbye, Moon Man. Then attacks me. I'll see what I'm looking at. I've got 3 damage men for 5 damage men. So let's. Damn it. That's actually not great. Let's use Precision Strike to pay for Bulletproof Chica. Prevent all the damage and give myself a tough status, which really doesn't matter because he has piercing as long as he has a weapon. Madam Hydra is stunned. Schemes for. Oh shit, I forgot about this. Schemes for 2. Oh wow, pushing to the next stage anyways. Goes down to 10, 2. And 1 last phase. He gets a new weapon. Laser rifle. And then 1 threat from the Hydra Bomber. Encounter. I'm a hero. Stuns me. Well, I forgot about that. Place 1 threat on the main. A second Legions of Hydra. And this is at 9 because there are 3 of them in play. So Madam Hydra is just not dying. Shit, I'm stunned. Alright, what the shit? Flip. Let me spend 1 on my spear. Attach a spear to Hydra Bomber. Defeat him. Just give me a counter. And return this to my hand. Probably didn't need to keep this in here. I'm not playing a ton of these. Am I still Bat Family, by the way? Yes, I am. Spear out. I'll spend... Actually, hold on. Let me remove 2 from here. Actually, 3 from here. Let me... not depth focus, because depth focus isn't the one I'm thinking of. Let me use Creeper to pay for clear the area to defeat this, which means it's going to activate against me, which is just what I got to deal with. That is 5 damage. Ouch. I draw a card. Oh, good, I got another clear the area. I kind of need to get rid of this combat knife. What do we got here? Energy Fist, Mental Fist. I can use this to pay for to get rid of either one of them, and I'm going to. Let's go to the range. Do I have? I just have steady. Get rid of that. I cannot get clear the area out, and there's no point in me tridenting an invincible enemy. That's going to end Batwoman's turn. God, taking that 5 damage was huge. Oh, taking that 5 damage was huge. All right, let me... So what do we got here? It's Energy and Fist again, still. I have both, but I'm not going to. I'm going to attack for 4. I'm going to spend this and this for breakthrough to deal 4 damage to an enemy. Move 3 threat from a scheme. It is a wild, so I deal 2 damage to an enemy. I draw a card, and I ready. I will spend. Oh shit. We need to put 4 damage back on him, and now I attack him and he should be here now. I'll then use Depth Focus to Limitless Stamina to ready and attack for 4. Madam Hydra is just going to stay in the game. Oh shit, I've been forgetting the hazard icons too. Oh my god. Oh. I'm not even tired. I haven't drank anything today. Although I do hear my Malibu rum calling my name. I just forgot. Hypercosmic awareness would be so fucking awesome right now, but I just can't do it. 3 cards. Good, another limitless stamina. Get her 4 cards. A good sense of justice. Perfect timing. All right. 1, 2, 3. Attacks Batwoman, who has to defend herself. Not an undefended attack, so suck my asshole. 1 damage. It's a shame she doesn't get counters for that anymore. Attacks Miss America, who does not have toughness. Right, her toughness doesn't fucking matter. She is going to defend for 2. So 2 damage. And then 2 damage from Madam Hydra. Encounter, encounter. Let's move these down. Encounter and encounter. Well, in schemes, well, that actually is going to end the game unless he blanks this. Which he didn't. I don't have the bat signal anymore. All right. Batwoman's 0 for 3 against him. Crossbones is the bane of Batwoman's existence, apparently. Do I play one more game? Do I play one more game? No, no, I don't. I'm not going to do that. 3 to 4 games for everybody. I want to stick to that. Otherwise, I go insane with long streams. What else was going to happen? Oh, this goddamn thing again. At this point, I would remove the 2 counters. What was going to happen over here? Oh, good, scheme again. And then attacked. Oh, rough. Crossbones was really, really rough. These like last 2 games I've played him. All right. Let's go ahead and render final judgments over here. I like the Justice deck I built a little bit more than the Justice deck that came with it. That's just me and how I like playing. Let's get all this sorted here. I enjoy playing against Crossbones. It's good. Good challenge. You can kick your ass if you don't keep everything under wraps. Ian Claw are my fun go-to ones. Wow, both bat families at the bottom of the deck. It's not the worst thing in the world because I wasn't at stage 3 yet, but hey, that's where they were. This is 15, 3. It's really 3 of these. Oh. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yep. And then Deadwater off to the side. All right. I'm going to start with her cards before I get the Batwoman. Get these out of the way. Get this shit out of the way. Brutal modifications is... Let's look at state 3 again. What she do in state 3? Okay. Brutal modifications. I feel this is a lot more valuable early game when it is cheaper and it helps you get through your phases faster. I would definitely say this is one of the better cards in her deck. I hate the picture with a strong passion. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that card. I just hate this fucking picture so much. Aquakinesis. I actually like Aquakinesis. Because you know what's funny? I just realized I got Queen of the Sea and didn't get a single one of her X cards afterwards. The only thing I got after Queen of the Sea was Aquawoman's Trident, and I only had one valid target to put damage on. Oh my god, I can't stand that. All right, Aquakinesis. I like Aquakinesis. I think it's perfectly fine. Is it worth it? Because it is 1 cost for 2. All right, so that puts it on par with Clear the Area, which is 1 for 2. Multitasking without the mental resources. So it's not even really strong. It's strong with other cards in the deck. If you have what's it called? What's that? Did I just said allies instead of upgrades? Yes, I did. Haha, I'm awesome. It's not. I'm not thinking of Float Like a Butterfly. Operative. Actually, does operative skill, because this is a different thwart for each one, right? Or no, it does count as the same thwart. Following thwart X times. Well, let me see something real quick. Right. So you'd be making 3 different thwarts. Yeah, it would stack on each one of them. It zoned out there for a second. Yeah, operative skill would stack on each of them. The one resource that removes one additional threat would stack on them, but it still feels weak. Because it would those cards would do the same thing to any thwart. This it feels weak. It feels like it'd be strong. I know it's ignoring crisis icons, but I'd put ignoring crisis icons on the same like tier as drawing an extra card from clear the area or something like that. So to me, it doesn't feel too dissimilar to just a regular aspect card. It's perfectly fine. I also would hate playing this late game because I don't like spending 4 resources to pay for an event card. Just to remove 8 threat. Yes, I know I can split the 2 threat however I need to, but or each instance of 2 threat any way I need to, but it's just it gets weak at that point. Tidal Conduct can do no damage and stun for 1 cost. It can do 3 damage and stun for 2 cost, 6 damage and stun for 3 cost, and 4 damage and 4 damage. I've been going up by 1 each time. It's stun for 1 cost, 3 damage and stun for 2, 6 damage and stun for 3, and 9 damage and stun for 4. This only really feels good at 4 cost, and again, I'm probably not playing this at 4 cost. I don't like playing. The only way I'm playing these cards at their max cost is if I'm playing with the Dark Knight Rises from the Depths, which is a hell of a title, by the way. I never once looked at the title this entire time. That's the only way I'd pay for those at that point. Anything else? Dark Knight Rises from the Depths. Speaking of which, awesome card. I really like that card. It's really only useful with her X cards because you're not going to find too many instances of where you want to spend these resources anywhere else. And the fact that there is 1 of them and 10 of these cards, right? Because it's 3, 4, 7, okay, 8 of these cards, excuse me. 1 of these for 8 cards to cover it is like, I know this is a great card and you can use it on things that are not these, but you really don't want to. This right here should be used for 1 of these 4 cards. If you're using it to pay for Red Hood, great, congratulations, you got a Red Hood or Red Robin or any 3 cost card, great, you got them. But at that point, you are kind of damning yourself to not play any of these cards, or having to spend an entire hand to play these cards. Are they worth your entire hand? I would say no. BOW Engineering, is it? Oh yeah, it is bioorganic weapons. I just looked at the bottom for the first time. It's the same thing that they call them in Resident Evil. Fine. I think this is the first time in the 4 times I've played this deck that I've actually used it to get a dead water in, because the first time I tried using dead water, I kept playing them like as if they weren't linked to BOW Engineering, which was my bad. They're fine. It's just, these are fine. This is great early game to build up your augmented counters. Bat Signal is a good card, but you only get 1 of it, which is a shame. Actually, it's a great card. Let me rephrase that. It's a great card. It's a situationally great card, but you only get 1 of it. It only gives you 1 adaptation counter. I feel that this could be stronger, or better, I should say, and by better, I mean something that is worth only having 1, because usually when you have 1 of something, it's either unique or it is strong in a way that other events aren't. And I feel like it could be buffed. It could legit give you more adaptation counters. I know for 1 cost, canceling out a treachery completely without having to get a new one is amazing value. But still only having one of them, it could do like 2 adaptation counters, and I think it would be not overpowered, and it would be way more helpful to getting her online, because she does have stage 2 can give her problems in getting online. Same with the rest. Another one that's a shame there's only one of them. Really good card. I really don't have a lot of notes on this. It helps you get adaptation counters. It's usually only going to top out at 2 adaptation counters, because the printed attack of an enemy is only what their character's attack is. It's not including bonuses. And you're usually seeing only max of 3 attack ever. At least not without modifiers, and you don't count those modifiers because those modifiers aren't printed either. At least that's how I understand the rules, is your modifiers don't give you, or don't count as printed. Queen of the Sea. I like and hate this card. I like the problem with Queen of the Sea is it is only really good for her cards and one card from each aspect, essentially. There's not a lot of support for improving X in FFG's core game. I need to take a drink, so give me a second. So yeah, there's not a lot of support in FFG's core cards to give this value. I looked at both of ES's tables, and I know because ES is kind of like the go-to when it comes to DC reskins. There's not a lot of help that provides. It's limited to these, and I don't like paying extra resources to play any of these cards. I just don't. It's great for the Trident. I love it for the Trident. I like it for Sync with the Rest. I love it for, or I love it with Sync with the Rest. I love it for the Dark Knight Rises from the Depths. None of these other ones, I don't value having to pay one more resource just to get more of it. That's just a me thing. I think that this card actually kind of weakens her a little bit. If this had text in it or it does not affect the cost of the card, I would love it. This would be so good. It would take her deck to a much better place, I feel, if this did not increase the resource cost of cards. I don't think it would make her overpowered. I think it would, because if you paid 3 to get 4 adaptation counters and draw a card, if you paid 3 to remove 8 threats, I mean, that would make all these pretty damn strong. But when you look at how much setup is involved to get this to costing 3 and removing 8 threat, stunning and dealing 9 damage for 3, the amount of time it would take for her to even get to that would offset how strong those would be in turn with Queen of the Sea if it didn't affect the cost. Aquawoman's Trident is a great card. It does get limited if you don't have Vicious Redefined, because then you really can't attach it to anything that won't die immediately. In this game, Madam Hydra came out, and I couldn't put Trident on her, because then I'd just be sitting on Madam Hydra until I got Vicious Redefined. I can't put it on Crossbones because of the same issue. Vicious Redefined and Aquawoman's Trident are both great cards, but they're so extremely dependent on each other. Yes, Aquawoman's Trident can function on weaker enemies just fine, but it does get limited when you get something like Madam Hydra, and when you only have Madam Hydra and a villain, or an equivalent to Madam Hydra and a villain. Or if you have a really beefy enemy, God help, for some reason you're playing against the Thunderbolts enemies, like why would you do that? But it'd be useless on them. So that's kind of where I'm at with those. They're really strong, but they're also really situationally strong. Let's look at her things over here. Like a woman, this. Also, her obligation, I think, is completely fine. It's a very appropriate card for her. It wasn't here, right? I don't remember what it's called. Is it not in here? Is it in the deck? Because I don't see it. Am I going crazy? Oh, it's right here. God damn it. Yeah, Ever Vigilant is very appropriate for her. It forces her in hero form, which is what you expect out of somebody who is ever vigilant. Exhaust her identity just to discard it, which would suck for her, but it makes sense. Remove 2 adaptation counters. Less impactful if she's on phase 3, but early game, this is rough for her to deal with. Batwoman herself. I enjoy a good multi-stage character because Ironheart's my favorite. I think her first form is extremely weak, or pretty damn weak. A 5-card hand, like the hand size is what makes it weak. Her stats are perfectly fine. Building up encounter adaptation counters in phase 1 is not all that hard because when you're in phase 1, the villain's usually not strong itself, so you can kind of just take damage and build up counters. It works completely fine. It's great. State 2 is very dependent on what you're going against. This is kind of where she's hit a brick wall in all the play tests I've done. Again, I've play tested against Crossbones and Claw. Crossbones has a decent amount of enemies or minions that he has, but he's not like a minion heavy, and Claw is just awful with minions and side schemes. She's fine in this form. She gets steady, which is always fun, but she also kind of messes with herself by giving herself a confused and stun. So she's essentially just getting rid of her steady. Um, if you can get rid of your stun and confused statuses somehow, that's great. But it does it's kind of a weird decision. It's also good that it's a card she controls, so it counts for her trident, which is her anyways, but it also counts for her allies, which I just had shit luck getting. Or I think I saw one of her. No, I saw 2 of her allies. I see 1 or 2. I know I saw the Justice DC character. Is that the only ally I saw the entire game? I don't remember getting Red Robin and Red Hood that game. Anyways, it's a bit rougher to get through this phase. This honestly is my favorite phase that she has. Phase 3. I cannot stand phase 3 or augmented 3. For one simple reason. Well, two reasons. Okay. There are 2 reasons I cannot stand it. First, to get to phase 3, you have to place an acceleration on the main scheme. That is not awful in of itself, but when you get to phase 3, you count as an acceleration. You are such a burden at this point that she does not feel strong enough. Her deck doesn't feel strong enough. She does not feel strong enough to make up for the fact that she is 2 acceleration icons. I would honestly rather never go into stage 3. Yes, she gets steady and retaliate. I don't think that's worth 2 acceleration tokens. Remove an adaptation counter from her, discard the top card of the encounter deck, and deal damage to an enemy equal to the number of boost icons. Fundamentally, a good ability. You are removing an adaptation counter for hoping for 2 damage. I had this issue when I played Guardian. When I play tested Guardian, I'm not a big fan of making that gamble to hope or just to deal with that risk. Her getting it looks so blurry. Like I think the animation is messing with it. From a distance, it looks blurry, and then you zoom in, it just does not. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think her phase 3 is worth it. I like the 6-card hand size. I like the hit points. I do not think the extra acceleration is worth it at phase 3. 1, yeah, I'd be down with 1. 2, hell no, I don't like it. All in all, what are the grade things? I forget every time. I know it's aesthetics, theme, materials, mechanics, balance, fun factor. Aesthetics, the set looks really good, honestly. I hate this card. I'm turning it face down. I don't want to look at it anymore. I hate looking at it. Um, the animation is cute. There is a non-animated version that I just right here. So I know some people have issues seeing animated. So it's good that you have that. Um, Aesthetically, everything else looks perfectly fine. Um, yeah, aesthetically, it's good. It looks good. Other than the card that I hate. Balance, theme. Like I said, this is one of the few characters I've ever looked at because, like I said on the first playthrough, I legitimately thought this was like AI art. Hell, it might be AI art. I haven't looked at any of the comics. I just looked at her wiki. But hey, she exists. So that's saying something. Um, Theme. Yeah, this kind of fit from what I do understand from the wiki. It does fit her theme. My understanding is that she was good, and then her father died, and then she went on like a metahuman killing spree, or actually, yeah, I think it was killing. She just was killing them. Um, and then she turned that rage to Atlantis. Um, so thematically, it feels like she is a dark character or an anti-hero character. Um, I think that thematically like that, it's fine. Her deck thematics are pretty good. Um, yeah, I think she's got some pretty good themes. Materials, yeah, everything's here, including the insert, which I think I said it in like the first time. I would choose a different example on it. Let people know how it interacts with her cards, not some random card. That's kind of where I would say is the one place to do it. Also, you might want to imply to your players in the link thing that you're going to be making extra copies of Deadwater. Because if you look at it as a physical game and you just had the one, it would be confusing because it's not pulling it implies that it's not pulling the same copy of them out of your deck or out of your discard pile. It's implying that you're putting more of them into play. That's why it's saying an army of Deadwaters. Um, you should probably put like 5 or 6 copies of Deadwater, or 10. I'll go over however much you want, however much you anticipate somebody actually be able to get Deadwater into play. Um, that way, players understand that when they play BOW engineering, that they do get a new copy of Deadwater. Don't rely on your players to Control C, Control V. Excuse me. Um, let's see. Anything else? Um, Everything else, material wise, is fine. No, no playmat, but I don't ever see anybody make a damn playmat except for myself and like Kaji and a few other people. Um, what's next? Mechanics. Um, Mechanically, she's a bit weird. Um, Queen of the Sea presents a weird mechanics issue with that. I'm never going to say I'm a complete expert in the game, but I've played enough to where I should not be getting confused by what Queen of the Sea is doing, like I was the entire first stream. Um, Thanks again for clearing that up for me again in the comments. But I think mechanically, Queen of the Sea is kind of throwing a jar into things. Mechanically, everything else kind of makes sense, or makes sense well enough. I'm still not a big fan of the mechanic where these cards, these 5 cards, excuse me, are all getting more expensive with each augmented phase and with Queen of the Sea. But yeah, that's where I'm at mechanics. Balance, I feel like she feels underwhelming. I think Aquawoman's Trident is a great card, but it gets very limited. Bat Signal is a great card, but it's limited to one. Sync with the Rest is a great card, but it's limited to one. The cards that I feel Dark Knight Rises from the Depths should be more prevalent in this deck, and the fact that it's not weakens the rest of the deck. By more prevalent, I mean just more copies of it. She feels weak. She really does. Maybe I need to see somebody who is not me play her to get to see somebody else who how they play her is better than how I'm playing her. I I don't think she's all that strong. And then that kind of affects her fun factor. I just don't think she's all that fun for me. Um, it's like every mechanic of hers I like is extremely limited. The the increased cost mechanic of the game is making some of her more fun cards or potentially more fun cards way too expensive to play. She spends the first third of her game with a 5 card hand size and a 4 card hand size before she can even build up decent hands, which is kind of all right because her cards are scaling off of that, so they're not hard to play in the beginning, but they're hard as hell to play at the end. I would I I need something big for me to be enticed to play a card at 4 cost. Again, that is a me thing. I don't like playing big cards. I cannot stand playing extremely expensive cards. Um, but I don't find her late game fun. I find her early game perfectly fine. I don't mind getting smacked for little bits of damage to build up these counters, but I think a lot of fun is ruined when you're paying 4 costs for these if you have Queen of the Sea in play. I think some of it is ruined when you get to phase her third stage and she's accounting for 2 acceleration icons. I don't think she's a strong enough thwarter on her own to handle that. She's kind of like a justice character who would need other justice characters with her, or characters who, if they're not playing justice, can still handle a lot of thwarting on their own. Um, that is a lot to ask. I don't. Yeah, she's not all that fun to me. Um, would I recommend her for cast nominations? I don't. I honestly don't think so. Um, I don't find this fun. I do not find her fun at all. I would not recommend her for other people to play. Um, I have friends who play this casually, and I would not be like, "Hey, here's a character for you to play." I'd be like, I'd definitely recommend other things before I recommend her. Um, I have a friend who, like me, is college educated in math, and he'd probably hate playing this. um, it's just not fun to me. I don't find it fun. I think honestly, I don't know how important they are to the story. I would just drop the Deadwater and BOW engineering stuff. That gives you 2 spots to maybe get another resource. I'm not saying this title every time. It's such so much. Maybe get another resource in here though. Maybe get another sync with the rest. You could probably survive off of 1 bad signal, or maybe another vicious redefine, so you can move your Aquaman's Trident around a bit better. Um, I find out of everything, these 2 cards are the ones that, while they're not bad by any stretch of the imaginations, they're kind of like the most expendable cards in her deck. Again, everything I'm saying, it's coming from me. I don't ever take me for, the expert or the end all be all. What the fuck do I know? I've never had anything in this cast spotlight before. Um, that's where I kind of stand at all this. I'm sorry if any of that offends Mcbober. He's an excellent, again, well, just like the other two I've reviewed so far, Hacks and um, Mistletoe and Phyrexian. Amazing creator in the community. But I'm not on board with this one. But yeah, that's where I stand. I've been talking in the post game and for like 20 minutes. That's a bit too much. I'm gonna go ahead and end there. With that, have a good morning slash day slash night, wherever it may be. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, comments. Take care of yourselves out there. The world is a dangerous place. But yeah.